Hello and welcome back to Fallout 76. Today I am on the public test server to have a look at the 50 cal machine gun in combination with the new bullet storm mechanic. So here is the one I crafted for the test. It is Furious with faster fire rate, reduced AP cost. You can see the AP cost is 9. And my plan is to actually use it both in and out of VATs. That tends to be how I use this type of weapon. Now, compared to live, the range is actually quite a bit less. On live, the range is around 200, maybe a little bit over. I don't remember the exact number, but it's a little over 200. And here we're at 144. So this is definitely a mid-range type weapon. That's how it's intended to be used. And I just want to show this on the workbench so you can see the difference. So I went with a standard receiver just because I wanted to use this kind of in its base form just to see how it pans out. But if you want to run it as a prime, damage goes up from 77 up to 101. So it's actually a pretty significant difference for prime. And I actually think prime ammo would be pretty easy to keep up with on this. If you have all of the crafting perks maxed out, each craft will give you 500 rounds. And the contextual drops are actually pretty reasonable as well. So yeah, if you want to run this prime, and if I end up running this on the live version of the game, that may end up being, that may end up where I go. But you can also see you get a decent range buff as well. So the range goes up from 144 up to 173. So prime is definitely a good option, but I want to see how it performs in the base, which is also why I don't have a 4th star on it. So the heavy gunner perks have been changed, and what we have now is this bullet storm mechanic. And with the latest PTS update, this was actually changed ever so slightly. So the original version gave you a bullet storm stack for every 50 ammo. Now it's every 25, so it's actually easier to build up the damage. Gain 1 stack of bullet storm for every 25 ammo spent. Each stack adds 9% damage. Stacks are lost when you reload or change weapons. So provided we're not reloading or changing weapons every 25 shots, and this is not hits on an enemy, this is just ammo that you shoot. So you can shoot in the sky and build up stacks that way. It doesn't have to hit an enemy. So for every 25 ammo we spend, we're going to gain 9% more damage. Also, the way this works, and it's not stated on the card, but also the way that the bullet storm works is the stack count is actually maxed out at 10 by default. But we have this other perk that our bullet storm stack limit is doubled. So with this particular perk, bringing in the big guns, it will actually let us stack up to 20 stacks. And then we have lock and load. You keep half of your bullet storm stacks. When you reload, each stack increases reload speed by 1%. So this card will actually let us get up to 20 stacks with a lower capacity, a 250 round capacity. And since the weapon is Furious, I do have the onslaught perks. Now I'm using the default version where we build up stacks on hit. And then we have adrenaline. Damage will increase with each target that we kill, which is really good against crowds of enemies. So for the mutations, I have Speed Demon, which will help us with faster reload speed. Herd Mentality will boost all our specials up. Egghead really doesn't matter here. Eagle Eyes for extra critical damage. Carnivore, I do use meat food, so that'll give me double the benefit there. Bird Bones, a little bit more agility, which is a little bit more AP. And Adrenal Reaction does the same thing as Adrenaline, it just does it at 5% instead of 10%. And these are the food buffs I'm using, not that much. The most important one here will be Sweet Mutant Fruit Tea for extra critical damage. The hardest thing for me about the new Bullet Storm mechanic is that I am just a chronic reloader every time, basically every time I'm out of combat, I am, there we go. I like the cascading numbers, but that damage seems, another thing to remember is Super Mutants I think have been buffed a little bit, so they're, okay, little rubber banding. Super Mutants are a little bit stronger on the PTS than live, so even if the weapon damage was exactly the same, the time to kill would still be a little bit longer, I believe. So it is really hard to do a direct comparison live versus PTS because it's not just weapon adjustments that we've seen, but it's also enemy adjustments too. So you can see we're up to 2 bullet stacks. It's in the rightmost lower right-hand corner there. So we've got up to 2 stacks, so that means we're getting 18% more damage. And those stacks don't expire, so there's no time limit on it or anything. It's just when you reload or when you change weapons. So we can do a little mix of VATs, non-VATs. Either way, I mean, enemies are going. I mean, this doesn't feel tremendously different one way or the other against these types of targets. I do like the 50 cal though. It's such a nice weapon. It works nice in VATs. It works nice out of VATs. And you can see the numbers are slowly going up as we're chewing through enemies. That's a combination of Bullet Storm and Adrenal Reaction. And then of course we have, Adrenaline and we have Onslaught. So basically we have a whole lot of things going that are just going to increase damage. The more that we shoot, the more damage we're going to do, which is, I think that's kind of fun. I mean, against most enemies, it doesn't really matter. Against bigger targets, it will definitely be a benefit. All right, there's some gulpers. All right, not too bad. That one kind of far away. Now you're seeing the bullets kind of spray wild. You are seeing the effects of the range. There we go. You're seeing the effects of having that shorter range. The VATS hit chance, it is noticeable. So the way the VATS calculation is going on PTS anyway, range plays a huge part in your VATS accuracy. So once you get out of the range or out, like, I think the halfway point of the range, your accuracy really falls off. But if you're within the range of the weapon, accuracy I find to be actually quite good. And we have, whoops, cameras doing the camera things. And let's see here. I like how he can shoot through his buddies. I cannot. So where are we at? Oh, I got to reload. So we lost half our stacks. You see we went from 10 stacks to 5 stacks, which is still pretty nice. So we're starting with a bonus 45% damage, and then we can just build on that. So this is a system that really rewards you if you don't change weapons. If you change weapons a lot or reload a lot, it just isn't going to be good for you. And here, let's see, I'm crippling him, so, and I can't hit the, yeah, might as well shoot the torso since I get the benefit from center Mascus. Wow, they are super tanky. Not being able to target the fusion core, you know, that is, that's a bit of a thing. The fusion, you know, having that fusion core obscured means you're just not going to shoot it anymore. That is the weak spot. So, but against, okay, and there's Ricochet. Probably should, let's take Ricochet off. There's really not a point to run that at this point because, yeah, you're not here to see Ricochet. You're here to see this gun shoot some things. That's the whole point of this. Oh, there's another one over there. I do like the 50 cal a lot. That was the first time I played Heavy Gunner, like 5 years ago. The 50 cal, that was it. That was my main gun, and I used it for a lot. I mean, I think it works really nice. Manual aim, hip fire, VATS. It did used to be good in VATS because the AP cost was so high, but now it's, you know, now it's good in VATS as well. I've just always found the damage to be a little bit underwhelming, just not quite as high as I would like when you consider, I mean, it's a big gun with big bullets. You would expect big damage, and it's just kind of, I mean, it's okay. It's not bad damage, but it's not, definitely not the top of the heap. As you can see, as we go looking for some Snallygassers, my Bullet Storm, my stacks are now at 13. So because of the fact that we keep half of our stacks, we're able to build past the 10 that your normal ammo capacity would let you do. So, or at least on this weapon, the ammo capacity. So yeah, we're slowly building up damage, which is pretty nice. Obviously, adrenaline has reset, adrenal reaction has reset, so we're starting that over again. But still, oh, another reload. So now we're at 8 stacks, I think is what this will do. Yeah, this actually rounds up. So when it was at 15, it drops to 7.5, so it's gonna round up to 8. So it's always gonna round in your favor, which is nice. So if you have 1 stack and reload, you'll just end up with 1 stack over and over again. I don't recommend playing that way, but that is an option. So yeah, overall, I mean, this actually feels really, really nice. I like this. Now, if I was gonna put a 4-star on it, I think I'd probably go Conductors. Because I think I'd probably run this as Prime, just because I think the ammo, keeping up with the ammo would actually be pretty easy. And with the change to Prime, that would also increase your AP cost up to 11 from 9. So probably Conductors would be the way I'd go, just because, you know, I'd want some help keeping the AP going, keeping the VATS going, although this is very usable outside of VATS. And there's Mutated Event, load bearing, so there's that. Let's see, we've got this guy there. I mean, everything is, yeah, I mean, this works pretty nicely. It's definitely a very easy gun to use. I like it. I like the fact that there's no spin up. You know, I've been using Gatling Plasma as my main gun, and I know the Gauss minigun has gotten a big, or a buff. I don't know how big. I haven't tested it specifically, but it has gotten a buff, and it's actually quite strong now. But the spin up is just, the nice thing about this is it's good all-arounder, where you can use it against bigger enemies, and you can use it against just run-of-the-mill enemies where you don't need to worry about a spin up. Yeah, Bush kind of obscures the thing, so let's see if we can get Spouts. Nope. Ah, okay, so we can't really get, that is the downside about, okay, anything? Okay, I can't see. I don't want to shoot the shell because that's just wasted bullets, but let's shoot the legs. How about jeez. Legs? 34%. Okay, and that's just the bushes. So you know, that's one thing I don't like. I don't think the bushes should actually obscure. Yeah, I shouldn't have crippled him right there. That's such an, or her. That's such an awkward spot for for me. It's hard to get any kind of hit, especially the way VATS is working now with anything at all. There we go. There's some. That should be a higher hit chance, but yeah, the bushes have an effect. So we're doing way worse. We can't hit the torso. We can't hit. Can I get? Here we go. If I go into first person, how about if I shoot the torso? Is there a good? What am I shooting here? Yeah, the damage numbers are bad because I'm not able to hit anything that's weak at all. So this is super awkward. So yeah, way to play a long game for my video. But that's okay. This shows you don't be strategic when you cripple the enemies. If you cripple them in the wrong spot, you end up with problems. So there we go. That was a super long time to kill. But the Mirelurk Queen did actually go down really quickly once I was able to target the. I mean, when I targeted the spouts initially, she went down super quickly. It was just once she fell in that awkward position, I just couldn't target anything that was weak. So yeah, that made it look really bad. But anyway, you can see my stat count is now up to 17. I think I'm close to needing a reload though, but you can see we're slowly building up. Yeah, we're gonna have to reload pretty soon. So let's see how we do. Let's go third person. I like third person better when I'm playing heavy guns. It does make you easier to stagger for whatever reason. But yeah, against run-of-the-mill Scorch, you can see we are doing just fine. And let's do a wing here. Oh, we got a reload, so that's gonna drop us down to 10 stacks, which is actually not a bad place to start. So we're getting 90% damage, but you can see the range limitation there. Flying away, we only have a 144 range. That's definitely going to limit the amount of damage we can do, but hopefully she'll land at some point. I think I got the wing crippled, so she's going to land at some point, and then we can really do some damage on the head. So, oh, there she goes. She's going to land. Not super close. The big enemies don't feel like being all cooperative. Let's get a headshot in. There we go, headshot, and how are we doing? Pretty nice damage, and that wasn't much of a landing, but that was enough. And there you have the 50 cal machine gun in conjunction with Bulletstorm. I think it's actually a pretty good combination now that the stacks are 25 rounds instead of 50. And overall, the 50 cal actually feels really good. I think this is going to be my daily driver once this update comes to live in September. I'll probably put a prime receiver on it because I think the ammo is going to be fairly easy to keep up with. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit one of the buttons, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Thank you very much.